Today we're diving into the fascinating world of unsupervised learning, specifically clustering, dimensionality reduction, and density estimation.
Yeah, it's one of those areas in machine learning where the data speaks for itself. No labels, just raw patterns waiting to be uncovered.
Exactly. Let's kick it off with clustering. It's basically grouping similar data points, right?
Right. Think of it like a party where people naturally form small groups, maybe by interest or background, even if no one's told them how.
That's a good one. K-means is probably the most famous algorithm here, but it assumes clusters are spherical and of equal size, which isn't always true.
Yeah, that's where deep scan or hierarchical clustering can come in handy. Deep scan, for example, doesn't even require you to predefine the number of clusters.
And it's good with noisy data too. But I find the choice of parameters like epsilon and min-pt is kind of tricky.
Same here. A small tweak and boom, your entire clustering changes. It needs a bit of intuition or trial and error.
Alright, now shifting gears, dimensionality reduction, ever feel like high-dimensional data is just too much?
Oh, totally. It's like trying to read a novel written in 1,000 fonts. Dimensionality reduction simplifies without, hopefully, losing meaning.
PCA is a classic. Projects the data to a lower dimensional space while preserving as much variance as possible.
But it's linear, so it might miss some of the more intricate, non-linear relationships in data.
Exactly. That's where TSNE or UMAP shine. They preserve local structure better and give more intuitive visualizations.
Though TSNE can be slow and kind of sensitive to hyperparameters, right?
Yep. I've had visualizations where tweaking perplexity totally changed the story the plot told.
Now, density estimation. This one feels a bit more under the radar, but super powerful.
It's all about estimating the probability distribution that generated the data, like how densely packed the data is in different regions.
KDE, kernel density estimation, is a neat non-parametric approach. Smooths out the data using a kernel, usually Gaussian.
True, but it doesn't scale well with dimensions. The curse of dimensionality strikes again.
Yeah, that's the thing. The higher the dimensions, the more sparse everything becomes, makes estimation tough.
And that's where we need smart tricks. Maybe combine dimensionality reduction before density estimation?
Exactly. First simplify the space, then estimate the density. Like decluttering a room before figuring out where people like to sit.
Nice analogy. So in the end, unsupervised learning is like exploring a new city with no guide, just learning the layout by wandering around.
And sometimes those spontaneous discoveries are more interesting than anything you'd find on a map.
So here's a question. Do you think clustering or dimensionality reduction has a bigger role in real-world applications?
Oof, tough one. Depends on the goal. For understanding data, I'd say dimensionality reduction. For segmentation tasks, clustering shines.
Fair. Both have their place. Maybe the key is knowing when to use which tool and not being afraid to combine them.
Absolutely. Machine learning isn't a cookbook, it's more like jazz. A bit of structure, a lot of improvisation.
Love that. All right, folks, that's a wrap on today's unsupervised tour. Got questions? Think about how you'd group your Spotify playlists by mood, genre, or something else.
And which songs wouldn't fit any group? Those outliers might just be the most interesting ones. Catch you next time.